Hello.
Hi.
Come on in. Come on in. Y'all know what time it is. Wealth building Wednesday. Oh, Lord. So this is going to be one of those days where we have bloopers. No worries. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Y'all know what time it is.
Hi, everyone.
Get ready. Get ready. Come on in. Come on in. I got some great information for you today. Hello, hello. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Wow, we got 15 already.
They know what time it is. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. I am so excited. Hey, Dominique. Hey, Lloyd. I am so excited to see you guys today. I know there's been so much chaos going on, and sometimes it probably feels super overwhelming. So hopefully this will be a nice break from it all, and we'll get a chance to learn some great information. For those of you that don't know, I do this every Wednesday at 12 p.m. It is Wealth Building Wednesday, my podcast. My name is Whitney Hampton, the owner of LKM Enterprises, brokered by A Progeny Global, and we specialize in helping millennials create legacies of wealth by making home ownership a reality within 90 days or less. We seek to educate and to inspire. So the purpose of this podcast is every week to bring you a dynamic business owner that can help us in every facet of our lives, whether it's spiritually, whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically or financially. And this week is no different. So today I am excited to introduce our guest, Latoya Jackson.
Hi, everybody.
Woo! Y'all give her a round of applause out there in virtual land. So today we are going to talk about business credit. Many of you may not know, but April is Financial Literacy Month, and today is April 1st. So what better guest to kick off this month than April? April, tell us about yourself. I said April. I told you it's Bloopers Wednesday. It's Latoya. It's Latoya. Listen, I've been stuck in the house, okay? I've been stuck in the house. We gonna carry on. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Darius. Go ahead, Latoya. I'm sorry. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Latoya Jackson, and I'm the founder and CEO of Excel Capital Group. My company helps entrepreneurs get funding for their business, get business credit and funding. So if you are a new entrepreneur or you are an established entrepreneur and you're looking to start, grow, or scale your business and you need funding, definitely reach out to us and we can assist you with getting funding for your business, whether it's business credit or other types of business funding.
Okay, so we know what's going on in the world, right?
Yes.
So I think all of us as business owners are probably interested in how we can, get extra funding for our business and then also leveraging business credit, okay? So before we jump into all of the ways that we can build business credit, I want to tell you guys how I met Latoya, right? So I met Latoya, the first time I heard her was actually on the AC Green show, right? Totally by accident. I imagine she was probably promoting that, but I wasn't even a friend of hers on Facebook. I was in my car riding and I heard her story on AC Green and I was so impressed and so moved, and I said, man, I really want to get to know her and just see what she offers. I'm always, of course, looking to be a resource for you guys and help us all to grow. So I reached out to her on Facebook, started following her. She gives great information. And so I reached out to her and said, listen, I want to get you on the couch and bring you to my Wealth Building Wednesday audience. And so she humbly obliged, and I really appreciate that. And so we are going to talk about first your story. How did you end up starting Excel Capital Group?
Great question. I'll tell you how I started the company, and I'll give you a little bit of my background on how I learned about business credit and funding.
Okay.
So the reason I started this company is because I went to like a women's entrepreneur type of event.
Okay.
And at this event, there were some CPAs there. There were some life insurance professional there. There were all these professionals. And a lady raised her hand, and she said, what is the DUNS number? And how can I use that to get funding for my business? And so the CPA that was there was like, a DUNS number doesn't really matter. You need to have, be in business 2 years, have strong revenues, have a great credit score, great financial statements. You need all of that in order to get funding. And I sat there and I'm like, well, that's not 100% true. I got business credit when I first opened my business. My first round of funding, I got like $40,000. I wasn't in business 2 years. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have financial statements and returns. So I knew at that time, like, if you're going to a traditional bank, then yes, those are the requirements. They don't necessarily care about your DUNS number. They care about your tax returns, your revenue, your cash flow, making sure that you have a great credit score. They pretty much want all of those things.
And that's what a traditional lender
looks for. But my background is real estate. So in real estate, we use all types of funding and work with all types of lenders to get funding for deals. So the reason I started the company is because I went to that event and I wanted to educate people on how to get funding for your business. You don't always have to go to a bank to get funding. You may not have all of the requirements that a bank is looking for. And I want to show them and teach them that there are other ways to get funding for your business if you don't have all of that stuff. So that's why I started the company.
So she started the company because she wanted to help y'all. Okay, that's why she started the company, because she saw misinformation out there. And again, certain qualifications, new business owners like ourselves, we don't have that, right? We're starting out, we've got this great idea, we've got, this great skill set, and we're trying to create a new revenue stream for ourselves, and we're just starting out. So she said, listen, I want to help those that look like me. I want to help those that have the same background as me, just starting out in business, and tell them the things that I did to create not only business credit, but also to get business funding.
Right. So I want to share my whole story with you.
Yeah,
to answer your question, that's why I started Excel Capital Group, because I went to that seminar and it made me realize there's a lot of entrepreneurs out here who need capital for their business, and they don't know where to go other than traditional banks.
Right.
And because of my background and working with other lenders that are not traditional banks, there are different types of lenders out here that can get you different types of funding that you need to start and grow your business. So that's why I started it. But to go back a little bit further, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I got a job transfer that took me from Ohio to DC.
Okay.
And then when I moved to DC, I got my real estate license. I was like, I want to be in real estate. So, but at the same time, I'm working my corporate job, right?
Okay.
I was in outside sales for more than 15 years. So, went to Ohio State, got a business degree, right?
Okay.
Got a business degree, and none of the classes that were taught there taught me anything about business credit, right? Isn't that crazy?
So I have a finance degree.
And there was never
And I didn't learn that either.
Right. The number one reason why most businesses fail is because of funding. So you would think that would be an essential course to have in college or some sort of entrepreneurship program, and they didn't have that.
Yeah.
But anyways, went to Ohio State. I grew up very poor, went to college, had outside sales experience forever, and then I had a job, Michelin, that moved me to DC. When I got to DC, I decided to get my real estate license. So I was working my full-time job,
doing real estate on the side,
nights and weekends, and then my job relocated me here to Chicago.
Okay.
So when I moved to Chicago,
and you realized you loved it, and this is the greatest city.
I love Chicago. I love Chicago. But at the time, my job had me covering 3 states for work. So I was covering parts of Illinois, parts of Michigan, parts of Indiana.
Okay.
So, your license don't transfer. So you would have to go back to school and real estate school. And I was just like, I really don't want to do that. Even if I did, if I'm working with customers in Michigan, how am I going to show houses in Chicago? Right. So that's when I said, okay, I need to make a pivot, and I wanted to be an investor, right? You've been to the closing table, you see what the commissions are as a real estate agent, and then you see what the investors get, right? I used to look at the HUD ones and be like, these investors are walking away with $50,000. I gotta split this $5,000 with my broker.
Yeah.
I need to do what he's doing.
Right.
So, I started to network, started to get to know some people, and started to do some deals.
Okay.
And within that time, we did, fix and flips, buy and holds, mixed use commercial, had a couple Airbnbs. We raised over $2 million. But we did that through various ways, so it wasn't one way.
Right.
So a little bit was business credit. Some of it was 401k IRA. Some of it was private money. Some of it was hard money. There were many, many different types of funding that we got, because in real estate, you just got to get funding.
Man, you just got to get the money. You just got to get the money.
Right.
Get to the bag.
Right. So it was when I went to that workshop and I heard the woman, tell the entrepreneur, like, hey, a DUNS number doesn't really matter. And I'm like, wait, you can use a DUNS number to get access to a lot of capital. It made me realize that, here in Chicago in real estate, we know about all the different types of lending.
Absolutely.
But I feel like in other industries that entrepreneurs are in, they may not be familiar with
Right.
it. So the goal of the company is to help business owners get the funding that they need, whether it's the different ways to get business credit, but to get the funding that you need.
So let's take a step back, because I heard you say DUNS number many times. I'm not sure if my audience is aware of what a DUNS number is or what the purpose is. So can you tell us what a DUNS number is?
I will, but before I do that, I'm going to explain business credit in two ways.
Okay.
So there's two ways to obtain business credit. You can either do it based on your personal credit score, or you can do it without your personal credit score. Okay? And that's where the DUNS come in.
Okay.
So again, two ways to get business credit. One is with your Social Security number, your personal credit score, and the other way is without your SSN. So let me explain the difference between the two, and I'm going to explain what a DUNS number is.
Okay.
So the first way to get business credit, and this is the way I got it the first time around, you have a 700 personal credit score across all 3 credit bureaus, and you have a strong credit profile, you could qualify for up to $250,000 in business credit. So you gotta have a 700 score and a strong profile. So what does a strong profile mean? Really means no bankruptcies, no collections, no liens, different things like that. Or if you've had those things, maybe it's been 3 years since those things have happened, and you've had solid credit history established since then. So if you have a 700 score with a strong credit profile, you can get business credit in the form of business credit cards within 2 weeks. Okay, that's unsecured. Okay, you don't have to turn in any financial statements. You don't have to have a business plan.
2 weeks.
Right?
So for those of you that have good credit, this is why credit is important, right? Personal credit. If you have at least a 700 credit score in your personal credit.
Yep, across all 3 credit bureaus.
And you do not have any foreclosures, any tax liens, any collections, if you have had, or bankruptcies, or if you've had them but they're over 3 years ago and everything else has been solid since then, within 2 weeks you can get up to $250,000 in business credit extended to you.
Exactly. And so that's one way to get it. What I love about that way, and the lender that I work with, and let me explain this. I work with lenders and financial institutions that I have relationships with to help entrepreneurs get funding. One of the lenders that I work with specializes in startups. Okay? And there's a lot of entrepreneurs that it's really hard for startups to get capital, right? So they specialize in startups. So you don't need a business plan. You don't need to be in business 2 years. You don't have to have, tax returns or financial statements. As long as you have a 700 score with a strong credit profile and you set up your entity, okay? So your LLC, your S Corp, your sole proprietorship, you set up that entity. It doesn't have to be seasoned, right? Some banks want you to have your business for 2 years.
Right.
With this particular lender that I work with, you can have a day-old business and get capital within 2 weeks. That's unsecured. Okay. You usually get 0% interest anywhere from 6 to 12 months. Okay, and it's stated income.
Okay.
So that's one way to obtain business credit cards. That's based on your personal credit score.
Okay.
Right? If you got a 700 score, it's one way to do it. If you do not have a 700 score, or regardless of what your score is, you can build business credit the other way. Okay? You can build it inside your corporation without your Social Security number or your personal credit score. Okay? You're basically building it with your EIN.
Okay.
So, when you're building business credit in your corporation, let me kind of explain the difference between business and personal, right?
Yes.
With personal, you have a personal credit profile, which has all of your, accounts on there, all of your trade lines, or all your vendor accounts, all your loans, right? You have a personal profile and you have a personal credit score, right?
Yes.
And that score goes anywhere from 300 to 850.
So that's where
right?
your student loans are. That's where your personal credit cards are. That's where your mortgage for your house is. That's where, your car loan is. Anything that's personal to you, that's where all of that is housed, under your personal credit score.
Right. So now on the business side, the business credit is totally separate from the personal. So let's talk about the personal. Maybe you had a bankruptcy. Maybe you had a foreclosure. Maybe you got sick and couldn't pay some bills. Maybe you lost a job, right? Maybe you have some foreclosures. Maybe life happened to you and things happen on the personal credit side. Well, the best option for you is to build credit within your corporation that's not tied to your social. This is where the Dun & Bradstreet comes in. So you're going to have a separate business profile and a separate set of expenses. So business credit is literally credit in the name of the business. It has nothing to do with you personally. So if you had bankruptcies, foreclosures, liens or different things that's on your public personal record,
none of that is coming over here.
Right?
Okay.
So the way that you do it, you're going to have a separate profile and you're going to have a separate business score. The business scores go from 1 to 100.
Okay.
All right? The paydex score is the business credit score. You want to get a credit score of 80 or above.
Okay.
Okay? So let me explain that. So first, when you're establishing business credit, one of the things that you have to do is get a Dun & Bradstreet's number. Okay? A Dun & Bradstreet's number is a 9-digit number that is given to you by Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is the oldest business reporting agency out there. Okay, established back in 1849 back in New York.
So is this comparable to like Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian on the personal side?
Right, exactly. So on the business side, Dun & Bradstreet is the one that's going to give you your DUNS number. It's a 9-digit number that identifies your business within the Dun & Bradstreet credit bureau. So Dun & Bradstreet has over 200 million companies, a database of over 200 million companies in over 200 million nations. So it is a database of businesses that want to do business with each other, and it keeps track of your business's ability to pay your corporate invoices. Okay. So business credit is really a financial track record that anybody can look at. So it doesn't matter if it's financial institutions, banks, investors. Your business credit report, your business credit profile, it's public. On the personal side, you got to give somebody your social.
Right, you have to give them permission.
Right. On the business side, anybody can look at you. Right? And people look at, or businesses or financial institutions, they're looking at two different things. Are you a company that I can lend to? Are you a company that I want to do business with? So your business credit score, your business credit profile is so important because it's public record. Right? So let's talk about how you can build and establish business credit, right? First, you want to get your Dun & Bradstreet number, From there, you want to set up vendor accounts. Vendor accounts are like net 30 accounts. Some people think it's a line of credit. It's not really a line of credit. It's basically a supplier or a vendor that's giving you payment terms. So let's say you go through Granger and you need to buy something, right? They will give you 30 days to pay it. Right? So that's basically what a trade line or an account is for. So basically, you have to get at least 3 trade lines in order to get a business paydex score. All right? And remember, your goal is to get to 80. Right? And how do you get to 80? Well, you have to have several vendor accounts. You have to spend at least $50
with each vendor account
in order to establish your business credit profile.
So before you go further, is that the first step? Not the first step. The first step is getting the DUNS number.
Well, even before that, you want to make sure that your business looks good on paper from day one. Right? Because you want to get automatic approvals from these vendor companies. So the first step, yes, you need to get a DUNS number, but there's other things you got to have in order too. You got to make sure that your name, your business name, is set up correctly with the Secretary of State in the 411 directory. Some of these vendor accounts, they're not looking at your credit report. They're saying, in order for us to get approved, in order for your business to get approved, I need you to be verified on Secretary of State, and I need that exact same information on 411 directory with a DUNS number. You got those things, I will give you a vendor line of up to $1,000.
So you guys heard that. So you need to set up your business, first of all, right? So we need to get it established, the LLC, a corporation, S Corp, C Corp, partnership, LLC, LLP, whatever you're going to establish your business as. And we need to get that set up with the Secretary of State, right? We need that filed. If you are already in business and you've done that, you want to make sure you're in good standing. So you're filing your annual report with the state, right? We know that they don't play about that here in Illinois. So making sure that you're in good standing. And then you want to set yourself up on the 411 directory.
Yes.
Okay?
And I know that sounds weird because we don't use 411 for anything.
Right.
But in terms of vendors, they still use it as a way to
identify and make sure that you're a legitimate
company. Look, the reason you want to set everything up correctly from the beginning is because you want automatic approvals, right?
You don't want to be denied for anything.
They have software to go online to verify your business. Like, what's your business name? What's your business address? What's your email address? Do you have a professional email address? What's your phone number? Does all of that information match what's on Secretary of State's website? Does all of that information match what's on the 411 directory? If so, when you go to apply for these vendor accounts, you'll get approved just like that.
So if you have a business, so let's say this, if you have a business and let's say you're using for your email address a personal email address. It could be professional. It could be like your first and last name. Let's say it's whitneyhampton@gmail.com. Is that good enough? Or do we need to purchase, like, you can like buy a domain and get an email that says like info@LKM Enterprises. Is that important? Is that an important step?
Absolutely, it's an important step. You want to look like a legitimate business from day one.
Okay.
Because these vendors are using software to verify you online.
Okay.
If they can't match up any of that information, it's a denial. You don't want to get denied because you put, 5-Star Properties Inc. and then on Secretary of State is 5-Star Properties Incorporated. Like, you can get denied for very small
consistency across the board.
However your name is, it needs to be the same way on Secretary of State, your website, the 411 directory, any of your social media, your business bank accounts, your business license. Everything has to match up. If they don't, then they may go through a manual underwrite to try to figure out
who you are, where you came from, how long you've been.
And you don't want that. So that's why it's very important to set it up correctly from day one so that you can get your approvals and you can start to build business credit. Now, building it in your corporation does take time.
Okay.
It's not something that happens overnight, right? If you got a 700 credit score on the personal side, you can get business credit in 2 weeks.
Okay.
If that's not the option, it could take anywhere from 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
To get an 80 Paydex score with 10 vendor accounts. Okay, so let me explain this. There's 9 different tiers when it comes to vendor accounts.
Okay.
When you're building business credit, you want to make sure that you go in the right order. You go in the right order, meaning that you are, applying for a vendor accounts in the right tiers, right? And you're spending at least $50, right? If you don't spend at least $50 per trade line, it's not going to count towards your payment history. So don't go to Quill and spend $10. You got to spend $50 per trade line.
Okay.
Once you do that, and you get a number of trade lines to do that, once you go through tiers 1 through 4, after that, you can apply for business credit cards in your business name that's not tied to
that have nothing to do with your personal credit score.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the key is you have to know the rules to the game. You have to know exactly the order in which to do it so that you can get the maximum amount of money.
Okay.
Right? Some people go out of order. Some people don't have their business set up correctly. You want to look like a legitimate business from day one, even if you just started and you're a home-based business.
So I think this is important, just for us to recognize in times like this, especially even if it wasn't, all this chaos going on. When you're a new business, you may not have a lot of funds available to you, right? But some of this stuff, the very beginning of it doesn't cost much money, right?
Exactly.
It's the minimum filing fee with the state. It's making sure, like the 411 thing,
Directly.
That's free.
Exactly.
It's just making sure that you're signed up, paying a couple dollars, to buy a domain, and then get that email. And this doesn't mean like necessarily that you have to set up a website right away or set up like a very expensive website, but just that you have these things that can be verified and it doesn't cost a lot of money.
Right. And you're going to have to do this anyway when you're starting a business.
Right.
So, set up your website, set up your business address, set up your phone number, your professional email. I mean, those are expenses you're going to have anyway with starting a brand new company.
Right.
So why not just set it up correctly from day one so you can do the steps that you need to get access to tons of capital? What I love about business credit, this is the one thing I love about it versus personal. You do not have to think about your business credit score as weighing you down if you max it out. Okay. On the personal side,
like if your credit utilization is high,
right,
your score is dropping on the personal side.
Right. So let's look at the coronavirus, right? Mm-hmm. You got two type of entrepreneurs in this type of situation.
Yes.
You got entrepreneurs that need funding. Maybe their business was shut down. Like the restaurants, the hair salons, the tattoo parlors, right? They've been ordered to shut down, right? But they may still have expenses. They still might have rent, even though the business cut down. They may still have operating expenses. They may still have payroll in some way or capacity, right? So you got entrepreneurs that's going to look at this two ways. One entrepreneur might look at it and say, okay, I'm going to need some access to capital, and I'm going to try to get through this time utilizing business funding, right? You're going to have some entrepreneurs that do that. You're going to have other entrepreneurs that say, well, I don't want to work on business funding right now. I'm going to max out my credit cards. I'm going to pay my business expenses with my personal credit cards. So let me advise you on why you should not do that. It's just like you said. When you max out your personal credit cards, right, your utilization goes up, your score drops, and then the lenders are not going to be willing to give you more money when this crisis is over.
Absolutely.
But on the business side, you can max out those business credit cards, and your business credit score is not going to drop like it does on the personal side.
Wow.
So this is how you need to look at business credit. Lenders know that businesses need more capital to operate, right? So on the personal side, you might get a $5,000 card. On the business side, you might get 3 to 5 times that amount because they know that you're a business. They know that you need capital, right? You may have to expand. You might need to do marketing. You might need to do payroll, whatever.
Add new employees.
Exactly. They know that you need access to capital, right?
And they know that small businesses fund the economy.
Absolutely.
So they want to push this money to you, but they also want to feel like they can trust you with the money.
Exactly. You got to be responsible when you get the business credit too.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to be responsible when you get the business credit too. So those are some of the basics in terms of getting started and what the difference is between personal and business. I always recommend that regardless of what you got going on the personal side, whether you've had some credit challenges or whether you're doing great, I would still recommend building business credit within your corporation because you never know. You have to look at it like having access. It's like an emergency fund, right? It's like liquidity, right? It's like having multiple lines of liquidity available for you when you need it. So whether you're trying to expand, buy some equipment, get some, help with payroll, help expand, you have that available to you.
So I'm seeing some questions, so I'm just going to start pulling some of these questions. So Stan said, which way do you prefer? Should it be a personal? Are we talking about a credit line? Are you saying, should we use personal credit line or a personal credit line or a business credit line? I think you may have answered this. If I'm reading it correctly, Stan, and if I'm not, send me something else. But which is the best way to do it? To try to build things through your personal credit or try to build up the business credit?
I would do both. Like if you have a great credit score, go ahead and get access to
the funding immediately.
Right. You can get business credit cards in 2 weeks, or you can get business. You can get a business checkbook line of credit, but that is more for established entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So if you've been in business 2 years, you still got like a 670 score, you got like 250,000 in revenues, you can qualify for a checkbook business line of credit. But that is when you hit 2 years. If you are a new entrepreneur and you have a 700 score and you need access to capital, you can get it in 2 weeks. I would recommend that. If you do not have a 700 score, or regardless of what your score is, I would still recommend building business credit in your corporation. One, because it takes time. You're not going to get, 6 figures in a month.
Right.
Right? It could take anywhere from 4 to 6 months
to build the business side.
It doesn't happen overnight. It's a slower process, but if you follow the steps in the right order, you can have access to so much capital on the business side that's not tied to you personally.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would say eventually that would be the goal of all businesses.
Right.
Is to separate yourself from the business entity.
Absolutely.
That's the whole purpose of creating the entity
in the first place.
The LLC and all of that
right.
is to separate you from the business accounts. So I hope that answered your question, Stan. Jenny says, can you give out the names of the trade line vendors we need to sign up for startup businesses?
Now that's a good question. I will be talking about that on my masterclass, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have a masterclass where I break down the steps, and I'm going to give you a few vendors that you can start to do this with. I'm also going to have a masterclass where I walk you through it step by step, and I give you the list of vendors for each tier, so that you know, okay, these are the vendors that I can apply for tier 1.
Right.
These are the vendors that I can apply for tier 2. And let me tell you the importance of that. 97% of vendors out here don't report to the Business Credit Bureau. So
sometimes you're opening accounts thinking like, oh, this is gonna help build up my business credit, and they're not even reporting.
Exactly. You don't want to go to a vendor account, set it up, spend $50 a month on some stuff you probably don't need for your business, and then you find out it's not being reported to Dun & Bradstreet. But that's the importance of having a DUNS number. They can only report it if you have that DUNS number.
Okay.
So you need to know the list of vendors that already report to Dun & Bradstreet, so you know you're getting credit for your purchases.
So Latoya has 2 options, right, to get the names of these vendors. You can sign up for her master class, or you can actually be a part of the membership program that she has. Well, she'll walk you through step by step how to do it with you, and make sure that you're able to get the business credit that you're looking for. Roy had just asked, if you have a partner, if you are a business and it's a partnership, does it make sense to do the business credit? And how can you do that? Would it still... Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So you could do it either way. So if you have a partnership, let's say that one partner has better credit than the other, then that person can be the person that applies for the business credit for your corporation. And you can get up to $250,000 with that person based on that credit. So you don't even have to go on the application for that. You could do it based on your partner's credit.
Okay.
When you're building it within a corporation, again, personal.
It doesn't matter at all. So it doesn't matter if it's a partnership. It doesn't matter the type of business entity. So even if it's a sole proprietorship.
Even if it's a nonprofit, you can build business credit within your corporation. But let me explain why it takes a long time. Okay. Some people may not understand that. When you are a new business, sometimes vendors are reluctant to give you vendor terms, right? They may be reluctant because you're a brand new business.
Right.
They don't know anything about you. Sometimes they might require you to make a few purchases in advance before they approve you. But sometimes they won't report until after your third purchase. So if you're spending $50 per month for 3 months, they may not report your
until the third month.
Right. Remember, this is business credit is based on the business's ability to pay its invoices on time, right? If you pay your invoices on time within 30 days, then you can generate a business credit score. But the reason it takes so long to establish business credit in your corporation is because, I think this is the battery?
That's okay, keep going.
Okay. It's because the vendor may not report you for 3 months. But when they do, they'll list all 3 payments.
Okay.
But it may take some time for them to report your history. So that's why I say building business credit takes 4 to 6 months. But if you're a brand new entrepreneur...
What's 4 to 6 months?
Exactly.
Some of us have been in business 10 years that don't have business credit.
So at the end of that, and you can go faster than that. I'm just giving you an average, again, if you follow all the steps in order to get access to this capital. So, maybe you are in the new phase of your company. Maybe you haven't launched your product or service yet, but when it's time, now you got access to this capital.
So $250,000 worth of funding.
Or $100,000 or whatever it is.
Whatever you need and whatever you'll qualify for. Dominique says, can you provide the information for your master class, and will it be virtual? So yes, to answer that, at the end of this live in the comments section, I'll have all of the programs available to her. And you guys make sure that you're following her as well, because she gives a lot of information every Friday.
Yes, every Friday at 12 p.m. I talk about business credit, business funding, or anything as it relates to entrepreneurs getting funding for their business. Sometimes I talk about grants. Sometimes I talk about these SBA loans. Sometimes I talk about business credit. Sometimes we talk about personal loans. So we talk about all the different types of funding that you can get for your business. So if you are interested in that, make sure you follow Excel Capital Group, LLC, on Facebook, on Instagram.
Spell it for them.
Excel, EXCEL, Excel Capital Group. So you can follow. I'm there every Friday at 12 p.m. talking about a different topic on business funding and business credit. If you are interested in getting a free funding consultation, you can go to fundingwithexcel.com. I offer free funding consultations. So I will have a conversation with you about your business, whether you are a startup or an established entrepreneur. We will talk about the funding that you need for your business and then see if you qualify to get funding for your business. So if you're interested in a free funding assessment, you know that you have the 700 score and you want to go ahead and jumpstart that process to get business credit within 2 weeks, you can go to fundingwithexcel.com. We can schedule a funding consultation for free, and we can talk about the funding that you need for your business.
Y'all just remember who sent you, okay? When you call her, when you inbox her, when you follow her, remind her, I came from Whitney, okay?
Right. So that's fundingwithexcel.com. And then if you're interested in the masterclass or the membership, you can go to a bit.ly link. It's just bit.ly Excel Business Class. Again, that's bit.ly Excel Business Class.
And we'll have that in the comments. We'll have that for you guys. So right. I know a lot of you guys take notes during our podcast. So, but all of this information, her email, her phone number, everything will be available to you guys. Alton says, you ladies rock. I just followed you, Latoya, in regards to this info. This has been really helpful. It's like you're reading my mind. That's our gift, okay? No.
But yeah, so the information for the masterclass and the membership will be coming soon. So just make sure you add your email address to that bit.ly link. So bit.ly Excel Business Class.
So you can stay in tune. You want to make sure that because things are changing. Just like, hi, Miss Sheila. Just like she's going to be talking about some things that are available now to businesses because of everything that's going on in the world. Things are consistently changing in every industry. From real estate to finance. Yes. I mean, so many things are changing. So you want to make sure that you sign up and are consistently getting these emails, consistently being made aware of the courses and the classes and memberships that she has available so you can stay in the know. Even if you're not using it right now. I tell people all of the time, I'm doing a home buyer seminar this Friday. Even if you're not thinking about buying a house right now, you want to know the information because things have changed. And maybe you're not thinking about buying a house, but your cousin, your daughter, your sister's brother's friend is. You can provide accurate information to them. And it's the same thing with this. Maybe you haven't even started your business yet, but you know at some point that you want to be an entrepreneur, that you want to create a new stream of income. At least you'll have this information. You'll have the steps available to you. So when you're ready to start, you can hit the ground running and you can do it correctly. I know and talk to so many businesses and business owners that are like, I wish I would have known this ahead of time. Even people that want to buy homes, they're like, I wish I would have talked to you before I filed for bankruptcy. I wish I would have done this before I listened to this person that isn't in the industry and was trying to give me information that turned out to be inaccurate. So you can get the right information and, like she's been saying the entire time, start out on the good foot. You can make sure that your entity is set up correctly. We can make sure that you're on the 411 directory, making sure that you have the professional email and the domain name, all of those things. Yeah. So you can start out on the good foot, and then when you're ready, jump right into it.
Right. So I think one of the ladies asked, will it be virtual? Yes, it will be virtual. But to give you more information,
we can't have more than 10 people in the room, so it's got to be virtual. No, I'm just
but yes, the master class is basically where I walk you through the step-by-step process. We're going to have an overview of what business credit is and how this process works. You're going to have weekly assignments, so you'll know each week what steps you need to do to build your business credit and set it up correctly from day one.
That's the membership, right?
That's the membership, yes. Right. Then you'll get access to the vendor list. So you will know which vendors to apply for every tier. Tiers 1 through 4 are vendor accounts. After that, tier 5 is the cash business credit card lines.
And I'll see y'all in there. I'll see y'all in the membership class.
Right. So, and you'll get all of that. So, in addition to that, you're going to get, again, a list of vendors. You're going to get the list of restricted industries and high-risk industries as well. But you'll also get some experts that are going to be in there too. So, if you are a new or established entrepreneur and you need, help in different areas, we're going to have experts that's going to be able to talk
like taxes.
To that. Exactly.
Understanding how to file your taxes as a business. Oh my goodness. Uncle Sam wants his portion, but we don't want to give Uncle Sam all he thinks he wants. But you don't know how to do that yourself 9 times out of 10. So being able to talk to a tax expert to help you with those things, these are the type of resources that'll be available to you.
And I can speak to that. It's definitely important to have your bookkeeping in order.
Woo!
Okay, whether it's QuickBooks, whether you're doing it yourself, whether you're having a tax professional do it. Look at some of these SBA loans. Some of them require financial statements. They want your annual returns. They want your profit and loss statements. Some programs you can't even qualify for if you didn't file for last year or the year before. So that tells you how important it is to have your business numbers together, whether you made a profit or not. Because you always want to be in position to apply for more funding, right? So I'm going to have an expert that's going to talk about, accounting. I'm going to have an expert that talks about setting up your entity correct way. Maybe you don't know the difference between an S Corp and LLC. You need to know the tax and legal implications of each one and how that applies to your business or your industry, right? And I'll have other professionals on there as well.
So basically what she's telling you is she's going to help you from start to finish, okay?
I'm going to help you build your business.
She's going to make sure that you can get these dollars out here. Put the coins in your bank account. She's going to make sure that you can do that. And that is so important whether we in a pandemic or not. You want to be able to have access to funding. She said something that is so true earlier, that most businesses fail because of finance. Not because you didn't have a great idea, not because you're not great at your trade, but because there is lack of funding and mismanagement of funds. Absolutely. So to avoid that pitfall that many businesses fall into, you want to make sure that you're tied to an awesome resource that can help you not only establish these funds, but talk to you about staying responsible once you have access to these funds. So were there more questions? Were you about to say something, Toya?
No, I was just agreeing with you. The goal of the membership is to help you build business credit within your corporation with your EIN, not your SSN, but also to give you some other resources that can help you with your business as well.
So if there are no other questions, we are going to jump off. Also because I don't want this to cut off before my battery does. I've had that happen before. So I will not let it happen to me again. But thank you so much, Latoya, for coming on. Again, make sure that you guys follow her, Latoya Jackson. Her name is tagged here. I'll also make sure that all of her contact information is there. Follow Excel Capital Group on Facebook, on Instagram. We'll also have all of that information there. We'll have the link for you to sign up for the masterclass and to get all of the information for the membership. Again, for those of you that are following me, if you know someone that is thinking about purchasing real estate, if they're thinking about purchasing an investment property, if they're wondering what's going on in the real estate industry and all of the changes that we're hearing about, please have them register for my free virtual home buying seminar this Friday at 9 a.m. We have a lot of information, not only that we'll be speaking, but there's a lot of pamphlets that you guys will have that you'll be able to download and work from to get you in position to purchase. Now more than ever, it is so vital that we own, that we are diversifying our streams of income. Many of us would have never guessed that 2020 would look like what it looks like right now, and many of us are not prepared. So we want to make sure that we are providing the resources and information to make sure that you can sustain not only yourself personally, but your business can be sustained. So please make sure that you register. That information will be in the comments as well. Make sure you sign up for all of this great and valuable information. The woman says she is doing free consult calls. Take advantage. Call. Let's figure out how we're going to get this funding, okay? So thank you guys again for always tuning in. If this information has been valuable to you, make sure you hit the share button. I will see you all next week. Please be safe. You guys are all in my prayers. If there's anything that I can do to be of assistance, please feel free to inbox me, call or text me. I'm happy to help, even if it's just to give an encouraging word. I'm giving all of you a virtual hug.
Right.
And I hope that you guys are staying safe. Be smart. Stay in the house if you can stand it. And thanks again for tuning in.